Ụmụnne m ndị Abia, fellow Nigerians and friends, I bring you warm greetings from our dearly beloved capital city, Umuahia. Let me specially thank you for tuning in to this special broadcast where I shall be addressing a few important national issues, how they affect us here in the state, and the best part for us as a people in an earnest push for progress and genuine development. For the past few months, we have had expressions of dissatisfaction from various quarters. Recently, the sentiments of disaffection have snowballed into threats of protests across many regions, states, and cities in the country. Clearly, there is evidence that all is not well in the polity, as it would be uncharitable to dismiss the genuine angst of millions of our compatriots who have been caught up in the rising wave of economic troubles, such that despite their best efforts, they still struggle to meet their daily needs. We have to acknowledge that some of the measures taken by the central government to stop the hemorrhaging of our economy has brought severe hardship to many individuals, families, and organizations. Uncertainty has become rife, and there is widespread fear about what tomorrow may bring, as biting inflation continues to frustrate the plans of individuals and businesses. While it is fair to acknowledge the present pain, it is also proper to realize that what we are suffering today is the culmination of years of poor judgment in the management of the national economy. The ill-advised policy decisions of the past, recklessness in the use of ways and means instrument of the central bank, and a certain inability to address rampant acts of economic sabotage all contributed to the distress now affecting millions of Nigerians. Much of the steps taken by the federal government, including removal of petroleum subsidy, are aimed at ending years of abuses and cronyism, and ultimately redirect national resources to areas of genuine needs, especially infrastructural development, and other initiatives that can improve the economy through job creation and holistic reset of the real sector to drive long-term growth. It was clear from the get-go that these corrective measures will come with pain and inconveniences. Even then, the expectation was that the pain will be short-lived, while the gains will ultimately set the national economy free to serve. So far, the expectations have not been materialized, and our compatriots are losing patience. This explains what now seems like a resort to protests for many who apparently have lost hope in the promises of economic rejuvenation. Again, I would like to acknowledge that the right to protest is a democratic one, which adds to the appeal of democracy. We are a democratic nation, and citizens to whom the leaders are all accountable to are free to always express their dissatisfaction, especially when their basic needs are not met. At any rate, the subject of protest, which has become very popular in Nigeria at the moment, must be understood broadly. While street protests appear to have gained ascendancy over the years, when citizens want their government to take a different course on an issue, one must also look at the downside, including the destruction and carnage, sabotage by fifth columnists working for various interest groups, infiltration by thugs and criminal gangs, leading to unexpected new realities, and the impact on those on the lower rungs of the economic ladder who rely on each day's earning to survive. So, while the intentions of the promoters of the protest may be genuine and wholesome, we have also seen many instances where similar initiatives were hijacked by under-interest groups in pursuit of an agenda that may be unknown to the original promoters. These are very uncertain times, and one must call for caution, lest that which had been intended to remedy a bad situation becomes a spark that causes an inferno that may consume the innocent, the weak, and the vulnerable. Our government has taken it as a duty to protect these groups in our society. Again, may I admit that there are genuine reasons for dissatisfaction with what has been and possibly what is. But then, how about we consider what could be, especially if we explore other equally important forms of protest, apart from taking to the streets in anger? What if, as citizens, we immediately begin to engage our elected leaders and representatives across the various levels of government, presenting them with a charter of demands with realistic timelines for the attainment of important milestones? In addition to engaging the leaders through town hall meetings and regular in-person gatherings initiated by the citizens, we can also use written, traditional, and electronic correspondences to channel our disagreements and frustrations with government policies and programs. We may be tempted to downplay the importance of a simple correspondence, but history has repeatedly demonstrated that the pen is mightier than the sword. In this age and long time, when the pen, ink, paper, envelope, and postal channels have been merged into a tiny electronic device in our pockets, we must never underestimate the immense privileges, possibilities, and power technology has brought to the tips of our fingers to force the attention of our leaders in the direction we seek. I'm therefore appealing to my compatriots, especially millions of dissatisfied young people, to explore the extensive resources at their disposal to drive the change that we seek, instead of setting our nation on an uncertain path. As someone who has fought injustice using non-disruptive channels, especially modern technology and the traditional and new media, I can assure you, my dear young Nigerians, that we can achieve a lot more by measured restraint and order than we can ever do through chaos and unrest. Starting in 2014, young Abians, artisans, civil servants, traders, and community leaders led a mass movement to reclaim our state from the ruins caused by unaccountable leadership. Using the very same tools I'm advocating today, they disrupted the political dynamics in the state and installed a government that answers to them. Even in the face of injustice and extreme provocation, there was never a time violence became an option. 14 months after assumption of office, even those who saw our cause as a lost one now agree that indeed nothing can beat the determined action of a group of sincere people motivated by the desire to make a change in their social and economic conditions. Abia, since May 29 last year, has seen unprecedented infrastructural development, and things we were told could not be done have now become routine activities. Hope is returning, and all that could have been imperiled by violence have now been attained by patience, firmness, and non-threatening dispositions. I would draw this broadcast to a close by calling on our young people in Abia State to adopt the principle of self-restraint in the wake of the widespread calls for street protests, lest what we worked hard to attain be destroyed by those whose objectives are at variance with yours. The new Abia is your baby and must be protected from whatever could present a threat to its continual development, especially in the urban centers of Aba and Umuahia, where we are investing massively in impact-driven infrastructural projects. It took so much sacrifice, tears, and blood to arrive at our present destination. We are therefore invited to resist any temptation to engage in acts that could unsettle our progress and return us to the better forgotten days of arson, destruction, and disruption. What every part of Abia needs presently is a high sense of order and peace so that citizens can go about their lawful businesses while we continue to push for the stabilization of the economy using less disruptive means, including regular engagement with our leaders and representatives at the various levels of government. I would at this point call on parents, religious and traditional rulers, youth leaders, and persons of influence to join the Abia State government in appealing to our young people not to lend themselves to any activities that could threaten the peace of our communities. If we have learned anything from a careful study of street protests over the years, it is the fact that things can become very unpredictable without a moment's notice, and the innocent could easily become victims. While the Abia State government remains committed to its statutory obligation of protecting lives and property, we must also know that as citizens, we have a very important responsibility in this regard by refraining from any action that may threaten the peace we currently enjoy. As a government, we shall continue to do our best to improve the living conditions of our people. We recently gave out 1 billion naira interest-free loans to 10,000 nano and micro enterprises across all the communities in the state. Workers in the state have just been paid a part of the combined 45,000 naira wage award promised them earlier in the month. These payments shall continue as we also seek new ways of ensuring that every group is catered for in the state's economic stimulus and support program. All I ask from you as your leader, brother, and friend is that you continue to have faith in the government and avoid whatever could derail our attention, confident that we are running a different race and shall continue to meet the expectations of our people as our available resources permit. Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you for listening, and may God bless you.